Welcome back to another episode of Motogp Mac, and today we're going to talk about Max Bartolini's comments on the Yamaha V4 project. Now, speaking recently, Bartolini said, "At the moment, there is nothing tangible and therefore nothing we can test or bench test, not to mention put in a bike that will be able to accompany it. You have to understand it is not just about implementing a new engine. The decision to implement the V4 engine means building a completely new MotoGP project, and I mean completely new. You cannot look at the engine in isolation from the rest of the bike. This practice is impossible to put a newly designed engine into the current bike and test it. Now, we have to build the V4 engine and build a corresponding motorcycle for this split. Once this is all in place, the testing phase will begin, and only then can we make the comparisons between the completely two different motorcycles. Only then can we confirm the advantages of a V4 powered bike compared to the inline 4 powered bike, and then it will make sense to think about racing the V4. The regulations would allow us to switch from the inline 4 concept to the V4 concept during the current season, but using a new V4 has to be fully prepared. There is no going back and forward between the bikes. I can say though, we did not decide to make this change just based on engine performance aspects. On the contrary, we are working with the technical office and the designery of Luca Marmoni. We know the advantages of an inline 4 very well, and there is still a lot of potential in the current inline 4 engine. But the goal is different. In the end, we had to realize that we are the only manufacturer with an inline 4. So therefore, we have no references. This applies to the chassis area, but also to the tires, which play a fundamental role now in the motorbike. Everything is connected, and at this point, a strategic considerations also come into play. The fact is that we are operating in an extremely demanding world championship in which all other manufacturers have preferred to use a V4 concept. So I think this is brilliant from Bartolini, because what he is saying here is that it is no longer the Japanese concept in designing the Yamaha. And if I was Honda, I would be absolutely shitting myself right now. Because what they have done is they've brought in European engineers in the middle start of this year and put them to work. Like the head of vehicle dynamics realistically is what he was at Ducati. Gigi's right-hand man, Bartolini, he understands about putting the package together with the different areas. And for me, what his comments here are making an awful lot of sense. So he is looking at the bike as a whole thing, rather than what the Japanese tend to do is build a chassis and an engine. You know, he's looking at absolutely everything. So for me, I'm very positive about Yamaha's switching over. You can see that there's a measure there, you know, where they're going to be testing. And I would 100% believe already that V4 engine is probably somewhere in Japan rolling around some test track, putting miles on it. It will be interesting to see. I would think at some point in a test next season, they will be back-to-backing and the inline 4 versus the V4. If they're happy with it, the middle of next season, you could see the likes of Jack Miller and Miguel Oliveira take the V4 on for the, say, second half of the season. But I would definitely love to know your thoughts. What do you think of Bartolini's comments about Yamaha? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.